if it's your first time watching, we are working on a project called Notion to Anki, which is helping students create flashcards, and it's really awesome. It simplifies the whole process and it saves time. I'll just have some tea here, matching with my headset, red color. Let me switch up to the main screen here so you can see. So there's the site. Actually, let me fix up my windows. They're kind of messed up. Or yeah, it's fine actually. So the project is open source. You can upload a file and then it converts it to flashcards. And there's something called cloze support in the Anki. Let me find that Anki manual, which we're gonna add We're gonna start adding support for it. So today we're gonna work on the parsing stage. So from Discord, and if you haven't joined the Discord, let me write in the chat. Here's the Discord link. So basically, it's a way to generate more flashcards. There's a syntax, so you mark something with this cloze deletion syntax, and then it's going to generate a card without this. So it's very powerful. So you can generate lots of different types of cards from the same source by just specifying what's going to be deleted. And it's, yeah, I like it, and I wasn't really using it at all before, and I tried it out after people kept asking about cloze, and I think it's the way to go. And it's really, really nice. It makes stuff so much easier with regards to you write less and then you get more back. So the syntax we considered adding is using the code blocks, and that's what I'm going to start parsing today. So let me go to Notion. Actually, I'm just going to do that here on the side, and then we can take a look at the payload soon. So not sure what's gonna happen there. Let me just, I have some different accounts. So let me actually create a new page here, and let's call it cloze support, and I'll make it public so you can actually see it on the stream. I think it's the share here, share to web, copy there, and it should show up in the stream now, right? There, so you can see I have it there, and I'll be editing it here on the side. So let's see. So if we look back at the Anki manual, we have Cranberry was founded in, and the syntax we talked about is this. So essentially, Cranberry was, I'm just going to type it out for now, in 1913. And the syntax we agreed on was the code block here. So you can hit Command E, which is fine, and then you mark this. So this is going to change the default behavior, but we're only going to work on it in the branch. And so you can see there's nothing inside of the toggle. And let's actually export this. So I'm just going to export it and save that. So you can't really see my dialogue, but we're gonna get to the parsing stage hopefully soon. I'm just gonna open it up in BB Edit, because the reason why I prefer using BB Edit for these kinds of documents is BB Edit is really just straightforward, and it doesn't mess around and doesn't ask for much. You can just open a file quickly and then reformat it very fast with shortcuts. You could probably do that in VS Code too, but I think it works fine with BB Edit, and it's free, at least this part of the app. So I just formatted it, and let's see. So let me actually take all of the HTML. So what we're going to be using today is another app called Run.js, and that's where we're going to put our parsed or our data which we're working with. So let's just add that here, and we can take a look. So we see that it adds a code block. So what we really need to do is we need to take this code block and we need to transform it into C1 and then 1913, right? That's what the parsing stage needs to do. Let me comment that out. And if you remember from the previous Anki manual page, here's the syntax. So there are a couple of details we haven't really solved, like how do you specify which is what if you have multiple cloze deletions, like in this case. But I think for now we can just assume that it's going to go from one direction to the other. So it starts off C1, C2, and then later we can change it. It's not perfect, but one thing I did consider was, let me undo that. We could say here we could, if I can fix that, or not type necessarily, but maybe we could say index equals to 1 or something like that, like properties right before the value. I don't know. So we'll leave that for now. We're not gonna bother with that part. We just want the basic parsing. We want to get that working. So we're gonna change the default behavior in Notion to Anki to actually parse this or read that out. And we are already using Cheerio. So let me get back into where is it? Main. And let's see. And I've started looking at Gen Anki, which is actually pretty cool, and that's what we'll be using for the initial prototype. And then we can see if Gen Anki doesn't work, we can change it later. But I think it might actually work well in. Oops, let's make it 26 there, and then we are also going to change the terminal font size. I want to make sure you guys can actually see this in the stream. So. So I tested this out earlier, and it looks like this project is working. So let's look at the deck, and there's a yeah, we'll just install the PyLinter thing. So we need the Cheerio thing. We can just copy this. Actually, I think we might. Can we use import here? Console.log Cheerio. Yeah, it seems to be working. And then we need to load our DOM, so const DOM equals to cheerio.load. And we probably already have some code that parses things and reads through, so we can look at some of the previous code. Let's just print out the HTML, dom.html. Yeah, so it works. I think the closest thing we have is probably the images. I think we have some tea. We can't really do this, can we? Because the problem with this is it's going to look for all images, and that's not what we want. Or actually, maybe we do want that. No, I think we do want that. So let's add a comment here in the case. Let me add a to-do note. To do in the case we have cloze type, we need to read in front. Let's actually add a constant here. Const is cloze equals to true. We're gonna make it true by default. Should actually be the user setting. Let me add that too. To do read user settings for is cloze, because I won't be able to implement all of it today, but we can at least do some of the groundwork and then clean it up later. So we read the front card, then we can actually assume this part, right? So no, wait. Yeah, we can do that. So let's go here and let's assume this is the front there, and code blocks, and then we can access the front DOM and then ask for the code, right? I think that should work. And let's try code blocks. Sorry. And we can see we retrieved that. So I think actually this could work. So let's see. What if we have, let me create a new payload here with, actually for this one, let's look at the test cloze file. Yeah, so we can do similar, or let's actually stick to the manual, the Anki manual. So we'll use this example here, and let's go back. So we're just going to change that. And again, we're not going to deal with the exact ordering, that we'll just make it from left to right. I don't really know. Yeah, so like for normal people, does it really matter? Let me ask on the Discord. Okay, so now we have an example with 2. I'm just going to export that, and yeah, so you have it there. And let me see if I can find that. You can't really see the screen right now, but it's coming soon. So let me just format the pretty print. And I think last time we just picked the article, right? So if we go back to run.js, we can take a look at the new output. So what does it say this time? So we have multiple code blocks, and I think we need to add some more state here in order to debug this properly. So if we go back to the code again, let's see. I think actually we could just log it, right? Couldn't we? Just file sync x.json and then json.stringify deck.cards null to, we want some pretty formatting, so yarn dev server, and let me check. Yeah, so we're gonna do that localhost host 2020 there, and then I'm gonna upload the file. Let's see, it's in downloads, this one, convert. This set action URL is not a function. What do you mean? Pull. There, I think we can. It's probably some. Let me run the build command again, just in case something is cached locally. The Webpack stuff is not building the server files that are loaded, they're static. Okay, let's see. And this is actually the correct behavior. So we can actually treat it the same way we treat the images, I think. Let's try that. Yeah, I'm gonna add a to-do note. To-do handle cloze on the back, extra stuff. Let's see. I have to think a little bit here. So we're just gonna do it similar to how we did it in previous. So so the front DOM or get the card dot front, right? Or let's just double check. It's actually no, it's not the front. It's the card name. Const close deletions. So any code block we add is gonna be treated as a close deletion. DOM code. Then we need to check if the close deletions length is greater than 0. Then we want to start doing our logic, and it's almost the same as the below. So we'll do that. Close deletions dot I think this is a typo. Maybe, let's see. So I'll delete this. And close deletions.each do I element const do we want to ignore it? This would be the place. No, we'll leave that. We'll come back to it later. So the close deletion stuff is actually just, at least the way we're using it here, is just going to replace things. So we don't need to embed any files or any data or stuff like that. We can just change it. So here it would actually be interesting to see if we could run the replace. So let me check something, because we've had a lot of issues with or actually, let's drop that. Let's instead just replace it altogether. So it's going to be car.name equals to car.name.replace all, and then we're going to pass in the original name. What is the original name? I think we just have to log it for now. Const log. Or, let me check. We can try it and see what happens. Car.name equals car.name replace all, and it's gonna replace the elements HTML with for now just this. Oh, this is actually going to be a little bit clunky in imba, because these actually mean something. Unfortunately, we're going to have to use this approach. So CI and then plus, if I can write it, there. And let's double check the manual. Two colons. Let's just change it to V. Plus this part. That looks about right. I move this into a new variable here, const v equals to this. And we should be able to test this right away, I think, because we're going to see this warn part. Let's see. Okay, we can re-upload, convert. What does it say now? Let me see. Maybe there's a trigger no cars. Maybe that happens. Let's check the sanity thing. If x. We don't want it to stop. It's gonna trigger exceptions all over the place, but we still want to see what happens in the pipeline. Okay, so this part is working as expected. I think this part is not working as expected, so I'm going to create this new method here so we can check it, input, and then there, and that looks about right. So we can okay, I think that's right, because the back is not normally missing in the case of a basic card, but when you're using cloze deletions it could be missing, since you just have the text really. So this should yeah, this should still fail. So cards filter do name. Let's make this an or. So actually let's make this C, so we have one character instead of two. So if we have a name and it has cloze deletions, or the back, that's what we're going to check for. I think that should give us what we want to see. Let's make that bigger and then see what happens. Just gonna pick the file. Okay, so type error this.dom is not function. Dom dot exactly there. So it's triggering this code at least now, so we know that we're getting that far. And I think I know what this is. This is probably due to the API stuff in Cheerio, so I'm gonna check something in run.js. Let me switch it up here. Code blocks dot each function. we really just want to log this if the element.tag, what's the tag name, maybe, equals to code. And HTML won't work here, right? Like this. Okay, cool. But if we pass it into the front DOM like that, and then the element, should work, right? Yeah, that's working. And I think the last block here we have is just cool. So that gives us what we want, so we can actually use that approach. Let me see if we can get back. So I knew this, but I just had to make sure because it kind of takes a while to do all of the refreshing stuff in the browser, so anything we can save on that is awesome. Okay, let's convert. And exporting close support 02. Let me log here console. Placing close card.name. Let's make sure it's actually doing that bit. So it gets here, loads the card name, let's see, maybe it's just not detecting them somehow. Oh, it's detected. Maybe there's an exception here. Each the 2i element equals v equals front DOM. No, I don't think it's the return time. Let's log this console.log, replace all old value and then the new value. Maybe there's some issue there. Looks right. Ah, okay, I see something. Place all. Should really do the I+1. So it starts off on C1. No, this is not gonna work the way we expected actually. Replacing cloze. I see. of name. Let's see what happens. For some reason it doesn't look like it's reaching that part. I'm just gonna think a little bit const old, because I don't quite see what could be new value. This format itself looks correct now in the code. It's wrong here in the console, but we just fixed that. We have the right number of cards, and the card looks correct. The only thing is the back. Is there anything happening with the back side here? Not card.back, continue. Or it's the other way around. Getting kind of tired, so I think we're not gonna stream that long today. Continue if not card. Looks right, looks right, looks right, but this is not being triggered. Reached. Yeah, all of these other ones rely on the card back, so we don't really want them, do we? No. So actually what we could do instead is just put that under here. Let me run a build command. Doesn't look like an error, is there? Let me check this. It looks fine. Okay, cool. So I'm not quite sure what's going on, but we're gonna figure it out eventually. Oh, there's something is happening now. Looks like it downloaded Anki deck. Let's see. Oh yeah, it works. I'm just gonna do something here quick in Anki. I'm gonna change the note type just to see if it's actually a note type is called cloze something, but it's actually a basic thing. Funny. Let me change it here. Change card to cloze. There. Okay, let me preview it. Kinda looks off here in Anki. I see, it's just the card type I'm using, which is messed up. fix that again. There. Where's the other one? This one. I'll pick this one too. So I can test both of them in Anki manually. It takes a while to generate the code, so let's see. Yeah, I think it works. Let me delete this. Yeah, I can see it now. It works in Anki. So we can then generate the basic format. That's actually cool. So I think I'm going to stage that, and let's actually create a new branch and call it preliminary cloze. Yeah, let me try this template here, or actually I can do that tomorrow. So yeah, start parsing the cloze code blocks. So that's it for today. I'm kind of tired. I have to sleep and work tomorrow. So we now have started parsing it at least. So we have a couple of to-dos before we can actually get this wrapped up. Let me push that git. Actually, let me push. No, let me just push git push origin preliminary cloze. Let's see. Yeah, so push that, and what we need to do tomorrow is look closer at Genanki, because they have cloze support. So if you can get Genanki to generate some stuff for us, then we can reuse a lot of the infrastructure they have for the cloze generation. And it's actually pretty straightforward. We have already done this. The field stuff is maybe, yeah, actually we have support for that too. We just need to send it in, and I'm gonna take a look at that hopefully tomorrow. So yeah, short stream, but thanks for watching, and see you hopefully soon.